Today I want to share a story that unfolded on the beach this morning. It started with my toy poodle. Yes, dogs are the best icebreakers. And it led to a conversation with a woman in her 80s who reminded me just how important it is that we talk about menopause across generations. Welcome back to Hot and Healthy Menopause. I'm Nicole Van Haddam, your menopause coach and your retreat-loving guide through this midlife adventure. Grandma, let's talk menopause. I met a woman, let's call her Lorna. She has a deeply lived life. Married for over 60 years, now recently widowed after years of being her husband's primary carer. At first she told me her menopause was easy. Heavy bleeding in her late 40s led to surgery and she thought that was that. But as we walked and talked, more came out. She'd had 2 knee replacements, a broken back, a week in hospital with vertigo, ongoing hot flushes even in her 80s, and of course the surgery due to those excessively heavy periods. Back then no one offered her hormone therapy, she just endured. And here's the thing, she hadn't realised that many of these experiences could be linked to menopause. No one had told her, no one had explained. Her generation simply didn't talk about these things. Let's pause on one symptom she mentioned, vertigo. Yes, vertigo can be a menopause symptom. It often feels like spinning, imbalance or dizziness. Hormone fluctuations, especially falling estrogen and progesterone, affect the inner ear and blood flow. Stress, anxiety and hot flushes can trigger it too. Some women experience BPPV or benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, where certain head movements trigger spinning sensations. This is more common in women post-menopause, but I experienced it during the perimenopause transition as well. The takeaway? Vertigo during this transition is real, but it's not always recognised. And it's important to see a doctor because not all dizziness is menopause related. Proper diagnosis matters. As we kept walking, Lorna and I talked about purpose. She's redefining her life as a widow in her 80s. I'm redefining mine as a child-free single woman in my 50s. We've realised we're both standing at crossroads, just at different points in life. She finds meaning in raising funds for a charity that supports educational fees for the disadvantaged. I find meaning in helping women through perimenopause so they can thrive instead of just survive. Different paths, same drive, to contribute, to stay connected, to matter. Here's where it gets powerful. We need to start talking about menopause with our mums, our aunts, our grandmothers. They may never have connected their symptoms to menopause. They may say, we didn't talk about those things, but here's why their stories matter. They give us context, family health history, validation and resilience. And when we listen, we not only honour their experience, we ensure the next generation has a better journey than the last. Why their stories are important to us. First one is health history. Their experiences give us clues about patterns. Heavy bleeding, migraines, anxiety, osteoporosis, things that might run in families. Knowing this helps you anticipate challenges and prepare. Context and validation. If your grandmother or aunt quietly endured symptoms, knowing this validates your own experience. You realise, I'm not broken. This runs in my family, and now I have tools they didn't. Breaking silence. When older generations share, it helps dismantle the taboo. It creates space for younger women to feel safe asking, learning, and speaking up. Building resilience. Their stories often include strength, reinvention, and survival. That wisdom can guide us through our own transitions. Future benefit. When we listen, we don't just help ourselves. We pass forward better knowledge to daughters, nieces, granddaughters and friends. Each generation can live healthier, stronger and longer lives because the cycle of silence has been broken. So what are some tips for starting the conversation? Use gentle curiosity. Mum, when you were my age, what changes did you notice in your health? Auntie, did you ever have night sweats or hot flushes? Grandma, what was it like for you when your period stopped? Use open words. Changes, experiences, health journey. Avoid judgmental words. Crazy, hormonal, you must have been. And if you don't have family members to ask, you can still piece together history. Ask older friends, visit menopause cafes and local women's groups, look for online communities. Remember, you can join my Hot and Healthy Menopause Facebook group called Menopause Hot and Healthy. It's a safe place to learn and share. This isn't just about your bloodline, it's about collective wisdom. We need strong generational relationships among women. Women well into their menopause era have resilience and reinvention stories we can all learn from. Those newly post-menopause can reassure women just entering perimenopause. This will pass, you're not alone, here are the tools that helped me. Perimenopausal women in the thick of it can lean on community support instead of suffering in silence. Remember, there is no badge of honour in enduring unnecessary pain. And younger women need to know change is coming, but it's not scary when wise women are there to guide them. Our bodies are complex, life is long, change is inevitable, but generational support makes us more resilient, healthier and wiser. And you, listening to this podcast right now, are part of creating that world. Thank you. To help you begin these important conversations, I've created a brand new free resource, the Conversation Starter Mini Guide. Inside you'll find easy ways to ask your mum, aunt or grandmother about their experiences. Gentle words to use and words to avoid. Prompts for when you don't have family to ask. Tips to capture stories in a way that supports your health and theirs. And you can download that at nicolevanhadam.com. So here's your reminder. Go back to episode 168 for the Perimenopause Starter Pack if you're questioning whether or not you're going through perimenopause. Download the Symptom Tracker, GP Checklist, and now the Conversation Starter Mini Guide at nicolevanhadam.com. And if you need deep rest and connection, check out retreats. They're a powerful way to reset. Menopause is not the end. It's the shift into your wise era. Yes, the gear change can be clunky and the ride bumpy, but you are not alone. Please hit subscribe, leave a 5-star review and share this episode with your mum, your aunt, your grandmother, your daughter or your friends. Together we're building a stronger, healthier, wiser world for all generations of women. Thanks for listening to Hot and Healthy Menopause. If today's episode helped you, please follow the show and share it with a friend who's also navigating the transition. And remember, you'll find my free menopause symptom tracker, retreat recommendations and more resources at nicolevanhadam.com. This is your time to thrive and I'll be right here to guide you through it.